Welcome back to Bike Culture Hub. 2025 Honda Rebel 500, it's effortless. Not in the sense that it lacks effort from Honda's engineers, far from it. But when you swing a leg over this bike, fire up the engine, and roll down an open road, there's an unmistakable sense that everything about the Rebel 500 is designed to make riding feel natural, intuitive, and yes, effortlessly cool. The Rebel 500 has become something of a modern icon in the middleweight cruiser segment. Since its inception, it's been a bike that appeals to new riders and seasoned bikers alike. And for 2025, Honda hasn't thrown out the playbook. Instead, they've refined what already worked, tightened up the little things, added subtle but meaningful improvements, and left the soul of the Rebel intact. That's important because the Rebel has always been more than just a spec sheet. It's a vibe, a feeling, a statement that says, I ride because I love it. The heart of the 2025 Rebel 500 remains its proven 471 cubic centimeters liquid-cooled parallel twin engine. Borrowed from the CBR 500R but tuned differently, the engine has been refined with new fuel injection mapping to improve low-end torque and throttle response. It delivers around 47 horsepower and 43 Nm of torque, numbers that might not leap off the page, but on the road, they translate to a bike that feels alive in the low and mid-range, exactly where you want power in a cruiser. Twist the throttle in any gear and the Rebel responds with smooth, linear acceleration and a pleasing exhaust note that's deeper and throatier this year thanks to a redesigned muffler system. There's now a better sense of character in how it revs out. It's not a powerhouse, but it doesn't need to be. It's balanced, composed, and confident. The 6-speed gearbox is slick and easy to operate, with a light clutch pull that's particularly welcoming for new riders or those commuting in traffic. Honda has also introduced a slipper and assist clutch for 2025, which reduces lever effort even further and smooths out those aggressive downshifts that can unsettle the rear end. It's these kinds of upgrades, small on paper, significant in practice, that show Honda's commitment to real-world usability. Where the Rebel 500 really shines, though, is in how it handles. At just over 190 kilograms wet, it's relatively light for a cruiser. The low seat height, coming in at 690 mm, makes it incredibly approachable for riders of all sizes. You can flatfoot this bike at a stoplight with ease, and the laid-back riding position encourages a relaxed, confident stance. The mid-mounted pegs strike a near-perfect balance between cruiser comfort and standard bike control, and the slightly pulled-back handlebars give you that classic chopper silhouette without compromising on comfort. Suspension duties are handled by 41 mm telescopic forks up front and twin shocks at the rear. For 2025, Honda has revised the damping settings to offer a smoother ride over rougher surfaces, while still retaining the firmness needed for spirited cornering. It's not a canyon carver, but it doesn't wallow or protest when the road gets twisty either. The Rebel feels planted, predictable, and most importantly, fun. Whether you're weaving through city traffic, cruising on a coastal highway, or just riding to nowhere in particular, the Rebel delivers a satisfying experience every single time. Braking has also seen a slight upgrade. The front gets a single 296 mm disc with a 2-piston caliper, while the rear uses a 240 mm disc with a single piston unit. ABS is standard across all trims, giving you peace of mind in unpredictable conditions. The feel at the lever is firm without being grabby, and while it's not a track-level setup, it's more than adequate for the Rebel's performance envelope. One of the most striking things about the 2025 model is its design. Honda hasn't radically changed the silhouette, it's still recognizably a Rebel, but they've sharpened some of the lines, cleaned up the wiring, and added a few tasteful modern touches. The LED lighting setup now includes a new signature headlamp with a more aggressive profile and improved brightness. The indicators and taillight are all LED as well, with a sleeker housing that blends into the bike's minimalistic styling. The fuel tank maintains its familiar teardrop shape, holding 11.2 liters, which is good for about 250 to 300 kilometers depending on your riding style. Honda has introduced new color options for 2025, including a matte dusk gray, a candy red, and a stealthy graphite black. These finishes look premium and suit the Rebel's understated vibe perfectly. There's a new bronze treatment on the engine casings in certain trims, which adds a touch of class and subtly draws your eye to the motor. Customization remains a strong suit for the Rebel 500. Honda understands that riders want their bikes to be extensions of themselves, so they've expanded the official accessory catalog. Whether you're into bobber seats, saddlebags, mini fairings, or blacked-out trim kits, there's a wealth of options to make your Rebel truly your own. And because the bike is already designed with a modular mindset, installing aftermarket parts is often as simple as plug and play. The digital LCD instrument cluster remains compact and easy to read, with a new backlight for better visibility in direct sunlight. It displays all the essentials: speed, gear position, fuel level, trip meter, and a clock. While some might wish for a TFT screen or Bluetooth connectivity, Honda keeps things simple and functional. That's in keeping with the Rebel's character: form follows function, but never at the expense of cool. What makes the 2025 Rebel 500 particularly compelling is its accessibility. This is a bike that welcomes everyone. It's beginner-friendly without being boring, stylish without trying too hard, and practical without being soulless. It's the kind of motorcycle that you can ride to work during the week and take on backroad adventures on the weekend. It's forgiving enough to learn on, yet engaging enough that you won't feel like you've outgrown it after a year. Fuel economy is another high point. The Rebel sips fuel gently, returning around 27 to 30 km/L depending on your throttle discipline. That makes it a fantastic option for commuters and long-distance riders alike. Maintenance is also straightforward, with Honda's typical reliability and service network ensuring that ownership remains stress-free. Let's talk pricing. The 2025 Honda Rebel 500 is priced at approximately $6,799 in the base trim. That puts it firmly in the middleweight cruiser category without breaking the bank. For the upgraded special edition that includes factory accessories like a rear seat cowl, fork gaiters, headlight cowl, and diamond-stitched seat, you're looking at around $7,299. For what you get: a bulletproof engine, refined ride, timeless styling, and an unmatched level of user-friendliness, it's a seriously compelling deal. When compared to rivals like the Kawasaki Vulcan S or the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650, the Rebel 500 holds its own with a strong sense of identity. It might not be the fastest, or the loudest, or the most technologically advanced, but it's arguably the most balanced. Honda has struck that elusive chord between minimalism and capability. You can cruise, you can commute, you can even carve a few corners when the mood strikes, all on one motorcycle that feels just right. And maybe that's the magic of the Rebel. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It just shows up, does its job beautifully, and reminds you why you fell in love with motorcycling in the first place. For 2025, Honda hasn't reinvented the Rebel, they've refined it, respected it, and reminded the world why it's one of the best middleweight cruisers on the market. In a world chasing bigger, faster, and flashier, the Rebel 500 is a quiet revolution. It invites you to slow down, to enjoy the ride, and to rediscover the joy of two wheels on your own terms. Whether it's your first bike, your commuter, or your weekend escape machine, the 2025 Honda Rebel 500 delivers. Simple. Solid. Soulful.